Nityanandam. Hi, this is Ma Nitya Ovinanda, coming to you again with the Sannyas series by the grace of Swamiji. I'm here to share another interesting fact about my life before I took sannyas. Something little known to people. They're very surprised when they hear this. Before I met Swamiji and before I took on the spiritual lifestyle, I used to be a smoker. I used to smoke many cigarettes. I had a totally different lifestyle at that time. In fact, I used to enjoy going to baseball games, going to clubs, going to bars, listening to music, live bands, hanging out with all different types of people, from punk rockers to heavy metal people to bikers. I used to go to art studios and many different things. Most of the things are okay, but some maybe not the greatest choices you can make. And I worked for a company in which the lifestyle, the culture, was actually revolved around drinking. Yes, I worked for a sales organization, so everything revolved around free booze, free food, and most of the food was non-veg. And also going to all the sports events and all the events, we got special Skybox seats and front row tickets for this and that, concert and baseball games, the box seats, or all the best seats and all the best parties and places and expensive places. We even, one of the most expensive hotels downtown Chicago, we used to have our Christmas parties. These parties would cost $1 million. And they used to have the finest things there. And it was like a black tie event. So the men would have to wear the black ties and the suits, and the women would wear the fancy dresses. So this is the lifestyle at the time that I had. And it is a lot different now. See, once you meet somebody like Swamiji, a being like him, an avatar, he just changes everything. See, when I was living that life, I didn't really feel fulfillment. I had a lot of fun. And I felt that I needed to do those things in order to have fun in my life. And I thought, well, if I just, go out and party a little with my friends, I'll have fun and I'll forget about how unfulfilling the rest of my life is. Of course, I had some great times and great other opportunities, and I had a great group of friends who were just into hiking and talking about important events in life and spiritual things. So those people I loved to hang out with, but unfortunately it wasn't often enough at that time. And so that the other things I allowed to become more part of my life because it was an everyday thing. But anyway, it's funny how things happen. When you meet an avatar, you realize what is important. So when I was feeling something was missing from my life, that something was not complete and I was not fulfilled, I always wondered what I was doing there, what I was doing with these people, what I was doing in this situation. When will I get out of this? But somehow I never really looked enough, or I never understood how I could get out of it myself. So it's such a blessing. When you meet the avatar, something different is experienced. All the questions that I had, I'm not going to say were answered. It's not like I could say, what is the meaning of life? And why am I here? And all those questions I couldn't answer right away or tell you that. But I can tell you when I first laid eyes on Swamiji, when I first met him, when I first had energy darshan, when I had my first classes with him and experience with him at Inner Awakening, I couldn't believe how much of an impact it had on me. How much of an impact it had on my being, and how I felt like this is where I need to be. I just kept feeling that this is where I need to be. He is the person that I am supposed to be with. This is what I need to be doing with my life. And I wasn't satisfied anymore with just going to programs, after that. Or I really much enjoyed, being with my friends, and we had people over at my house, and we would watch satsang and everything on two-way video. And it was very nice and beautiful experience. But I just felt it was not enough. Somehow I had to be involved. I had to be just all in. I just felt like I could not waste another moment, another moment of this life in anything other than spirituality. And everything just kept clicking and everything kept pointing that way. And I just felt in my being that I just needed to take up sannyas. I just needed to just give up what I was doing. Give up and renounce, so to speak, and put it behind me and take up something else, something completely different. And it's not only, just taking up something completely different, like moving to another country. It's a lot more than that. And it's not even like getting married and moving, from US to like China. It is a whole different world in a way. You're taking up a spiritual tradition that's thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, seeped in tradition and ancient mysticism, or whatever you would like to call it, but a beautiful tradition of Hinduism with scriptures, millions of scriptures that talk about the guru-disciple relationship, that talk about the avatar, that are tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of years old. And then having an avatar and living around an avatar and not even really being able to explain it to anybody. Why you're just dropping everything and running there. And unless you meet him and you have that connection, it's very difficult to describe. Maybe I'll try a little better next time, but right now, I cannot put it really into words. I just know that everything he says, everything he talks about, anything from, culture, society, even when he talks about money or the way the West feels about, money or education, to the healthcare industry and the way the food industry is trying to poison people, to the deep spiritual things. Like when Swamiji was talking about Patanjali Yoga Sutras, or when he speaks now about manifesting Shaktis and about cosmology and all those things, and Shaktipada, that oneness experience. All of those things just continuously click inside me. Like they're like, wow, all the time. And it's like, so it's not only it's him, it's what he stands for and being part of that tradition. And knowing that really what he represents and what he's doing for people, from what I've seen of all like the other healthcare, all the other techniques and all the other things and books I've read and research I've done, and people that I've seen try different things. This is it. Because it's not just him like telling you a bunch of words or preaching something. You're getting the experience within yourself, within your inner space, within your being. You're actually getting that experience. It's like somebody can tell you about chocolate ice cream. They can explain it to you, how good it is, how tasty. But if you never had it, and if you never had that coolness and the way it melts on the tongue and that flavor of the chocolate, let's say, somebody's not going to understand. So anyhow, you just have to try it. That's all I can say. So please, come to Inner Awakening. Find out what it's like. You can see all and talk to so many sannyasis there. You can understand what it's like, how the connection is special, how it's much different than it is as a devotee. It's actually very special and very much different once you take up the kavi, which is the sacred orange cloth that you pick up from Swamiji, that you pick up from his feet, blessed by him. When you take that cloth and you say yes to being in his family and being part of the mission and part of the Sangha and what he's trying to do on planet Earth, there's something different that happens inside. So I'll try to think more how I can explain it in further sessions with you. But thanks again for listening. Nityananda.